I tried to fix it after 3 days with my husband. And he's just like, no, you can't, you know? Like, I'm done with you. Today he keeps reiterating, like, through text message, like, we can be brother and sister in Christ. Sorry, this couldn't work out. So I came to live with my family, but they're hopping from place to place because they don't have a place. 7 days here, 7 days there. It's the hardest situation. We're about to go through a divorce. My husband not being there for me, and he knows the situation my family's in. Which is one argument that we had before I left the house, because he said if your family loses their house, then they can stay here. But once it happened, I asked him and he said no. And now I'm in this situation with them because he doesn't want me back. I don't know. I just got a new job. And he said he's done helping me. He's done paying my bills on March 15th. So it's like helping my family, trying to pay my bills, not having a house, moving every freaking 7 to 14 days from place to place with the company my mom works for. Because it's like they have vacation houses, but it's just the most humiliating, degrading, low position ever. And just to know that like I'm married and like my husband just doesn't care and isn't helping, doesn't want me. Like I left the house because you threatened to call the cops on me when I wasn't even yelling at you. I don't know what's going on in my life. I'm over it. I'm just like, what is happening? I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of struggle and pain.
What's up, guys? I really feel bad for this lady. I really feel like I really feel for her, because I don't understand how a man that you are legally married to will just wake up one morning and say, I'm tired of paying your bills, I'm tired of you, you need to go out, I'm tired of taking care of you. Like, I don't, like, what the heck? Like, I don't understand. That is why we say, women, save up something, have a private account, store money there in case of tomorrow. Yeah, I posted a video on this same issue where a lady where a lady opened a private account. She was storing money there for future purpose. If you've not watched that video, please click down on my bio and go watch that video. Yeah, so this lady didn't even save a dime during this marriage, and now she's about to be homeless, y'all. Yeah, so this situation got a lot of people talking about it. Let's hear from them. Let's hear from the men perspective and the women perspective, what they have to contribute, their 2 cents into this lady's situation right now.
I just watched a woman on fucking Instagram break down and cry in tears because she's going through a divorce. And not only is she going through a divorce, she's going through a divorce and she's about to be homeless, broke, no job. She's bouncing from place to place with her family, her mom, because her mom has connections with her job that has like vacation spots. Her soon-to-be ex-husband told her he's tired of taking care of her. He's tired of doing for her. He's tired of paying her bills. So she has till March to get her shit together. March is literally in 2 weeks. He said he didn't want her back. God damn. And all this time, she was not saving a dime. She was helping her family get their shit together, but she wasn't saving a dime for herself. I'm starting to think about like when men get mad that women have separate bank accounts and they get upset when they find out she's putting money away when you give her money. This is the reason why. Because at the end of the day, when that man says he no longer wants you, what do you do when you've been fully supported by this individual? And you've probably been taking care of house and home since y'all got married. Have a separate account where his name is not attached. Store money every fucking chance you get. Because at the end of the day, when this man says, I no longer want you, baby, it is every man for himself. I am so sorry this girl is going through this. I'm so sorry that she has spent her life with this man and now she has nothing to show for it. Now she has to start all over. Now she is broke. She is homeless. She is struggling. I can't. Prenup be damn. If you want me to work, I will work. But if you want me to be a stay-at-home, there will be a prenuptial in the fucking agreement where if we get in a divorce and I don't cheat and you just decide to walk away, baby, you giving me money. You giving me money to start a new life. You don't have a fucking choice. Instagram, break down and cry in tears because she's going through a divorce. And not only is she going...
How many times I gotta say this? How many times have I put out videos about this same exact thing? Some men want the ideal of the woman being at home, taking care of the house and the kids, and, so he don't have to worry about it. He just has to go to work and come home and, pay for everything. Fast forward years later, that same man who was okay with that when they got married now hates it. Now he resents the wife because every time a bill pops up, every time something has to be paid for, it's him. So now he's working overtime or he has 2 jobs and, he feels like she's just home, chilling, as if keeping the house clean, cooking, grocery shopping, taking care of the kids, making sure they get to school and all that isn't a job too. Do y'all realize that as stay-at-home moms, if it wasn't a job, why would I have to pay someone else to do what I do? If I didn't get up and cook and clean and take care of the kids and all that, you do realize I would have to pay someone else to do it because it is a fucking job. And this is why I'm so adamant on women being independent even in marriage. I don't mean independent from your partner in all things. I mean, have yourself a little stash, sis, because you don't know what's going to happen. Okay? You don't know what's going to happen. And then when the husband decides he's had enough, I can't do this anymore, I want to leave. He fucking leaves and the woman has no idea how she's going to take care of the house and the kids and the bills and the food or none of that. Let me tell you your first mistake. The first mistake was you thinking, oh, if he leaves, I'm keeping the kids. Girl, send them kids with him. Send them motherfucking kids with him. Because see, what he's going to do is he's going to go get himself a little apartment, a little house or whatever, and he's going to be living his life. He's going to go on dates. He's going to do things. He's going to come home to an empty house, no kids, no cleaning, no none of that, while you're at home miserable. Send the fucking kids with him. Take them to court and tell the judge you don't want custody. You want to see them every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks just on the weekend. If he's going to leave you miserable, send them motherfucking kids with him. Ain't no way you going to leave me and think you about to be living young, wild, and free and happy. Come get your kids. Come get them. Now, I wish every country did. Honestly, I wish every country did. Because if you think about the long run, those women that are left with nothing, the kids, the house, or whatever, not knowing what's going to happen, some of them have no other option but to get public assistance, food stamps, medical care, cash, whatever it is, to survive, to try and, stay on their feet and take care of, their family as best they could after not having to do it for however many years. Then what happens after they get public assistance? They get trashed, talked down on. Oh, you're just out here collecting welfare. You don't want to work. You need to go get a job. And it's like, damn. Like, there's almost zero repercussion for the man that left her in this situation. Almost zero. So as much as you love your husband, as much as you might love the idealism of being that stay-at-home mom. Be realistic. Be realistic. Because we say we're going to love this person forever. That person might not love you forever. That person might not care about the kids and the house and the car and everything. And they might just leave you. So, ladies, be realistic. There are certain times when it's okay to think about just yourself and your kids. Do that expeditiously.
She didn't save money during her marriage. Now she's getting divorced and about to be homeless. I've been seeing a lot of situations like this. I also saw a TikTok where a woman was talking about she'd been married since she was 19. They was married for 27 years, and she went to school but dropped out, never built a career. Her husband's name was on the house, and the business that they built together was in her husband's name, you know. So fast forward to them getting divorced, she lost everything, you know, and she was trying to do odd jobs or whatever, but at the end of the day, she really couldn't get no good job because she didn't have no work experience, no education, nothing, you know. And it's kind of sad, you know, because these women do commit their lives to these marriages or whatever, and when they get divorced, they don't have shit, you know. That's why I do understand why things are in place for women when divorces happen, like the husband having to pay alimony and child support, stuff like that. So that's why I do understand, you know, why that stuff is in place. But, you know, I believe that every person should be their own person. And what I mean by that is every person should pursue their passions, you know, build a career for themselves, get an education, all of that type of stuff. Because at the end of the day, you are your own person outside of whatever relationship you're in.
I kind of almost started laughing to myself in the middle of this video. So this woman's getting divorced. Her husband kicked her out of the house. She's homeless and getting divorced. You know, she had to have done something, like done him like really wrong to even warrant that. And then for him to be able to kick her out the house before he divorced her, that had to have been his house before he hit her with before he married her. If that's his property before he married her, she ain't getting it. Separate property. That's all I can say. Man is smart. And the funniest part of the video is when she breaks down in tears. He's not paying my bills anymore. Women, this is why it's imperative that you are able to take care of yourself. Even when you get a man, you still need to take care of yourself. Things might be a little bit easier having that man around. But, god damn. There's some women out there that ain't done nothing with themselves. Like, I mean, talking nothing. If they were to get cut loose on the streets tonight, they couldn't fit. They probably have a very hard time because they're relying so much on that man. You got some women out there like that. All right, keep just relying on him. Not trying to establish your own life. Go right ahead and see what will happen should something happen. Because, man, that's all I gotta say about this. But of course, all that crying that she's doing and no tears. That's how you know the crying is fake. Like, seriously, no tears coming down her face whatsoever. There's a lot of noise, no tears, and crying. I'm out of here.
For greater context, please go back and watch that video. And by all means, do better. But see, my issue with this video and ones like it, especially when it comes to the commentary from the ladies, and hey, this is no shade, but honest rebuttal. Why is it that the mentality is always preparing for contingency as opposed to preparing to effectively integrate into the marriage and uphold the marriage? Why is that? That's all. It always seems like that's the key message for these women to prepare for the contingency of the day when their marriage doesn't work out. But there's never the concerted effort to teach these women, to impress upon these women the need to be good wives, which in this instance probably would have prevented the divorce in the first place. See, the one thing that the lady in the first video that's being shared just casually dismisses is why the man is leaving her, why the man is divorcing her. And let's keep it real. This is still America. So the likelihood of the man not having to leave his home and she get to keep the home is a strong indicator that she probably cheated on that man, that she's the cause of the divorce, that there's something that she did. And this is not victim shaming or none of that kind of nonsense that I know some of the sisters would love to come with. It's just reality, because we know how this goes. As a culture, we have seen this way too many times to make it seem as though usually this is not how it goes. Usually the man gets put out of his own house and the woman usually keeps the house and potentially keeps the kids too. So the fact that this man is divorcing this woman and she's the one who has to leave, it's not looking too good for her case. And if anything, if she stood to have that much to lose, then maybe she should have taken a greater interest, a greater level of devotion, a greater level of integrating into her husband than more than likely than what she did. Especially with her family apparently counting on her for whatever type of support they were leaning on her for. And what's interesting is the innuendo is that somehow the man is doing something wrong, or he's not doing enough, or he's cruel because he's decided to end his support. But according to that woman's testimony, she's saying it. This man didn't just cut her off immediately. If apparently he's still paying some form of support to her. He may have put a date on it, an expiration date, but he didn't just cut her off immediately. So apparently, as far as he's concerned, he's giving her time to put herself in a better situation. But I guess that's one of those things that might just get easily overlooked because of how sensational that woman is remarking about her story, her narrative. I find it so disturbing that even in instances like this, there's never even a question of where's the husband. Nobody even wants to get his side. Nobody's even asking him, hey man, why are you divorcing this woman? It seems to be abundantly clear that when it comes to situations like this, where it's the lady who is the one getting divorced from, there's a concerted effort to just demonize the man or to just give the woman a pass. Not even asking, well, sister, what is it that you did? And if the man did have some type of course correction in the middle of his decision to divorce her, to go from still supporting her and her family to all of a sudden now saying, you know what, never mind. What did you do? What did you do that influenced this man? What did you do that pissed this man off so badly that the support, the continued support he was willing to give after making the decision to divorce you, now he's changed his mind? What did you do that bad? See, this is what I'm saying. There's always commentaries like this after the fact to try to encourage women what to do as a contingency. But in the same conversation about contingency, there's never the talk about just being a good wife in the first place. There's never the talk about being a cooperative woman. There's never any talk about being the type of woman that a man would see as irreplaceable. That he couldn't live a day without having this woman by his side. There's never any type of conversation about that. But then there's always the question, well, should the man be helping this woman or not? Should he still continue to financially support this woman? No. And the reason why I say no is for the exact same reason that none of these people ever asked that question about these men when they decide to divorce them. When American women have demonstrated through their actions that when they're ready to divorce a man, that man has to figure out everything on his own. They don't give a crap about what adversity he has to deal with. They don't care how he has to deal with homelessness, how he has to deal with the wind, the rain, the storm, whatever. They don't care. So why then now? Is it some crisis? Is it an emergency when it's the husband doing the divorcing? It just doesn't make sense. Especially in this age of female empowerment, especially in this age of supposed gender neutrality and equality. Why is it now we're still trying to show all this preferential treatment for women in this situation that we have never, as a society, ever shown for the men? No, if these ladies who continue to profess themselves to be equal to men, this is how they want it, then fine. They have to learn how to deal with the wind and the rain the same way that the men have to learn with the wind and the rain. Or at the very least, if you don't want to have to deal with the wind and the rain, then at the very least, impress upon them to not be the wind and the rain. Was this woman the wind and the rain for her husband, which is why he's divorcing her in the first place? See, these are the things we just never talk about because as a society, we're just so used to giving women a pass that we just don't even ask the questions anymore. Or at least that's how it used to be. Because as a living example, that's all changing now, ladies. Gone are the times to when women can just, in the name of equality, in the name of being progressive, in the name of being free spirits, they could just do whatever and then think that there would never be any consequences or repercussions. That they would never have to face any type of actual accountability. No, that's gone. And it's primarily gone because this is how they said they wanted it. They said they wanted equality. Well, welcome to equality, ladies. I would suggest if you can successfully get married, which many cannot, at least get married to those men for the right reasons. Not for some type of exploitation or some type of financial dependency. No, get with these men because you actually care about them, you actually love them, and devote yourselves to those men. And in the process, give them something to devote themselves to. Get back to a symbiotic relationship with your men. Otherwise, hey, the men have already learned not to put up with this nonsense. They've already learned that despite the rhetoric, the women actually need them a hell of a lot more than they ever really want to admit. And the men are learning, hey, when situations arise, hey, don't get mad, don't get violent, leave. Cut that chick off. Cut them off the same way that that husband is cutting that woman there off. And your life will be so much better. See, that's not what these women want to teach these men, but it's what they've been teaching them all the same.
I'm going to give my personal opinion. And I could be wrong. But I've been in enough relationships and seen this type of stuff before to have a pretty keen eyesight. Number one, the level of crime. When a person is doing everything right and they've been done wrong, they can't even talk clearly because they are truly devastated. And usually the first place they're not going to go is on TikTok or any social media making a video, right? Secondly, when she said, I know what's going on anyway. No. I know what she's trying to imply, but she can't imply it because she wants the audience to make that implication for her. You know why? Because it's probably a lie. Meaning that she's trying to insinuate that he's doing something. But the biggest one of all that stands out to me as a man is that he called the cops to try to get out of their house. That means she did something or has been doing something that was dead wrong and highly disrespectful. Probably something that they talked about multiple times, and she led him to believe that the situations or problems and issues were squashed. And then he found out after again and again that she was lying about it. And she just told him that so he would back up and back off. And he probably dedicated himself to her to start a new page, and she did it all over again. It upset that man. It hurt that man. He reached his limits, and he said, you got to go. She wanted to play that game about, why are you trying to find this out? It's you and me, we together. Why are you worried about that? This just a friend, whatever. And then when she realized that it wasn't going to work, she got loud and possibly got violent. But whatever reason, when a man calls the cops to get a woman out the house, that man usually is the one that's standing on solid ground. That woman is usually the one who messed up big time. I know because I've been there and I've done it. And the situation I described to you earlier is exactly what I went through. And I got tired of it. And I knew her well enough that I had to get the law involved just in case she was to go crazy. And that's what this is. So don't sit up here and try to make it seem like she's some kind of victim. And there are two sides to every story. But I'm telling you, when a man calls the cops, she done messed up. Because he sure as hell ain't going to call him if he messed up. Because we know damn well, half the time, even as men, when we're in the right, the cops don't give a damn about us. And they're not in our favor. They'll mess around and kick him out the damn house. So yeah, that's my thought process.